Hello, everybody. I'm Candice Buchanan, and of course, Jay is here as well. And welcome to Island Fever Live. We have a very special guest with us this week. And of course, we're talking about voting. You know, we're talking about we've been talking about the different issues that affect the Caribbean American community. But what about the youth, right? So we wanted to bring on an influencer who definitely is a ball of energy, very beautiful lady. I'm very happy to have her here. We're going to talk a lot about what does she see as the pulse of the people, especially the young people out there. So she's going to join me right now. Welcome.
Hey, Candice. Thanks for having me.
Hi, Nikki. How are you?
I'm this girl. I'm happy it's Friday.
Me too. Now, could you just, for those people who might not know what you do, could you kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself to the audience of Island Fever FM and Island Fever Live?
Right. Okay. So what don't I do? So I'm an advertising account executive. So I work within the media world. I build campaigns for advertisers. I want to advertise on streaming or cable TV. I'm also an influencer. My platform is Nicky Says YOLO. So it's lifestyle, food, traveling, hair, natural hair, all that good stuff. And I'm also the talk show host for MIA Magazine Presents Soul. So with that talk show platform, we talk about Black cultural news within South Florida. We talk about, restaurateurs, musicians, artists, designers, and so forth.
Oh, fantastic. So you definitely know what's going on out there in the world of everything, right?
Yes. I think I'm well informed. Yes.
I love that, Nikki. So, welcome to our show. We already have viewers joining us here. Hi, Anthony. Welcome. If you have a question for Nikki, go ahead and put it in the chat. Okay, for those of you listening on radio, you can't really do that. So head on over to Island Fever Live and definitely subscribe so you will know when these interviews are happening. So, Nikki, let's talk about voting first of all, right? Have you voted?
I vote the second day of early voting. I was in line for over an hour, making sure I saw my ballot was scanned in the machine for proof.
Ah, exactly. So what among your friends and among your followers and your viewers, tell us what do you see happening with voting this time around in this presidential election that's different from the previous elections?
Yeah, so like 4 years ago when I went to go vote, I did early voting. I was in and out like in 10 minutes. But this time around, and given the environment and the climate of what's happening, I was in line for almost over an hour. But the thing is, I saw different people from different races, ethnicities, young, old, short, tall. Everybody showed up and showed out because you know what? So I was born in Jamaica. I'm Jamaican, but I'm a naturalized citizen. So, I pay my money. I took the test. I mean, I pay my dues to become a naturalized citizen. Yeah.
Yes, for real. I'm Jamaican as well. I did the same thing. I'm a naturalized citizen as well.
Exactly. Yes. So you know what? I'm not going to forfeit my power to vote. That's one of my rights is to vote. And especially with the current president and just the tension that's surrounding the United States right now, I feel it's so important, and not just me, but everybody else. And I physically saw it when I was in line that day.
Wow. Have you run into anyone that feels, especially the young people, that feels like it there's no reason to vote? And what have you said to them, or what do you have to say to them now?
I haven't really encountered anybody that did not feel that they did not want to vote or did not have to vote. I'm encountering the opposite. Nice. I feel like the younger generation, like 18 to, I'm in my 30s. So 18 to 25, I feel like they're more woke because of the social injustices, because of Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin. They can relate, George Floyd, they can relate to those, to our people being murdered. Yeah. And the thing is, it doesn't matter how old you are. I mean, look at Trayvon Martin. He wasn't even 18 years old. So I feel like because of what happened to Trayvon, there is more wokeness with the younger generation. And fast forward to the presidency and the current climate, I feel like it's just more in their faces and they're now more alert. And look at even 50 Cent, Lil Wayne recently, Ice Cube, you know. So because of their popularity and the being artists that resonates with the younger generation, now it's kind of seeping into that generation for them to go out there and vote and to express their voices.
And it's good that you take that approach with response to varied views with regard to voting. An article came out with Jared Kushner just last night that talked about the not Jared Kushner, that talked about the fact that immigration is going to be even more difficult under the Trump presidency if he wins the election. How important is it for you as a naturalized citizen, for people to vote for the Biden ticket?
Well, I mean, look at Kamala. You know, she is of Jamaican, you know, she has Jamaican blood in her. And, you know, and I feel like, okay, so historically, you know, there's been a preference as far as immigrants and what country they come from that have a better chance of becoming an American citizen. So in the past, and even maybe up until now, it's still kind of that way. So if you're from Norway, that part of the world, there's a higher chance that you could become a naturalized citizen. But as far as other countries, like let's say Mexico, you know, the parts of the Caribbean, like probably Haiti, or even parts of Africa, there is a stigma and a perception and some kind of discrimination against those countries. So my thing is this: America is supposed to be the land of the free. It's supposed to be the land of opportunities for everybody from all walks of life. So for immigrants who are naturalized and wanting to become naturalized, I think it's definitely important. And, you know, immigrants, we make up the United States of America. It's a melting pot of people from all nationalities, all ethnicities, all walks of life. You know, New York is such a melting pot. You know, you can't, my thing is this: you cannot be against Mexicans and you out there on Taco Tuesday eating tacos and burritos. That's hypocritical. You know what I'm saying? That is hypocritical. You can't be against Jamaicans and you out there eating some curry chicken and rice and peas. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, food is such a crucial part within the United States, and it brings everybody together. That's just one symbolic metaphor that I want to put out there as far as immigrants and how we make up what the United States is. And I do want to say that the first people, as far as history goes back, are the indigenous Native Americans. They were here over 20,000 years ago. And then rolled in were, you know, then the Germans came in the 1950s or 1920s. No, sorry, the 1800s. So the Native Americans were here first, and then gradually people from all over different parts of the planet rolled into the United States of America.
We're all immigrants here. We're all Americans. We're all immigrants, or we're all descendants of immigrants, and we should have this is a nation of immigrants. We should have a better immigration policy.
It's no one's land. It's no one's land.
Yeah, it's their land, and we're just here renting. I want to bring in Jay right now to ask any questions that he has for you. Just as an influencer, and just as another as a young man or a younger man involved in voting and getting out the vote, and lends his voice to that arena as well. Jay?
Yeah, I just want to first off say thank you for using your platform in this way, and that kind of leads into my question. I actually thought you were like 20 when we got the flyer done. I thought you were younger than me, so this isn't your first election. But when did you decide to make that transition into using your platform, you know, for this type of advocacy?
You know, like in my 20s, like it wasn't that serious to me. You know, like it wasn't serious to me. And I think as we get older, life happens, become more wiser. You know, you're paying bills, you're paying taxes, you have kids. So I think it depends on what walk of life you're in as far as your age. So in my 20s, I voted, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna vote for the president. But as I got older, I'm realizing it's not just about voting for the president. There's other local governing bodies as well that determines our laws, bills, legislation, all that stuff. So so the thing is, I started to vote when I was in my early 20s. Yeah, early 20s. And I didn't vote. Okay, so there was Bill Clinton. So I came here in 1992. So I remember Bill Clinton, but I was a little kid. And then there was, George Bush. Then there was Obama, so I'm just, so for me, when I became woke with voting was when Obama was running for president. And I was like, oh, because I'm like, he looks like me.
Yeah.
Because he looks like me, I paid attention. I'm like, he looks like me, So because of that, I began to pay attention. And gradually, as I got older and given the current, the current climate, what's happening politically, I'm realizing that, you know what? I have to know who my judges are. Who am I voting for? I can't just vote for the whole thing. I got who's my judge? What are the amendments? Let me do my research. Let me get a little cheat sheet. What about the commissioners, the school districts? It's not just about the president, but as you get older, there's other branches that are so important to our everyday lives.
Even just especially here in Central Florida, we have the preservation of land. What does that look like? Are we overbuilding in certain areas? There are plans afoot to build a highway through protected regions. Of what that would just really adversely affect wildlife. So if you're about those kinds of issues within your very own community, the quality of the water, things like that, things are also really, really, really important for us to vote on. The school commissioner, does he look like you? Does he look like your kids? Or does she look like your kids? Is she going to care what happens to little black and brown children in the schools and how their schools are being run?
And less about
care about certain districts.
Less about how they look, but do your interests align?
Yeah, what's their ideology?
All skin folk isn't kinfolk. So how do you who? I don't know if you want to point to other influencers, but who kind of helps you guide your your perspective on some of these issues?
As far as influencers,
who do you? I saw on Twitter, one of my friends, after Lil Wayne came out and made his statement, he was like, drop a list of the rappers that you listen to for politics. And I do think it's kind of an interesting time because we do see a lot more cultural appropriation with politicians will just come out, or even in Jamaica, we see politicians that a couple months ago didn't like dancehall. And then now it's election time. So now they have all the hottest dub plates. And it's just kind of awkward.
That's how it is, Yeah. It's crunch time. It's desperate times.
Desperate times. I don't know. I also want your opinion. What do you think of young people who are supposedly woke, right? Who have all these opinions, but they're not doing anything. The way you've lend your platform in the way you have, what are some of the ways that you believe young people who may feel like they want to do something, not just vote, but just do something to bring out their community? What do you encourage them to do?
Yeah, so definitely there's so many different organizations, local organizations that they can join. But the thing is, what is their passion? What is their purpose? Like, you can't just do something just to do it. It has to be fire behind it. If it's about Black Lives Matter, okay, there's local chapters in every state, approximately, I believe. So join a local chapter for that. Is it about, global warming? Is it about social injustices or defund the police? So whatever that fire is, whatever that passion is, find different organizations. You can Google them. They're all over Instagram. I'm pretty sure like Black Lives Matter, even Sean King. I don't know if you're familiar with Sean King, but he has a grassroots platform as well that focuses on Black and brown people and social injustices. So I would say, look, again, the older you are, the more likely you are going to vote. But the younger skewing, it's a little bit, I'm not too sure. So whenever we vote, it affects everybody, young, middle-aged, and old.
Yes.
So if you're if you're 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever, you still need to go out there and vote, because those people that are currently in office will dictate and affect your decisions, your paycheck, your livelihood, and your safety.
Yes.
It's crucial.
Yes.
Look at the stand your ground law with Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
Stand your ground, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was a law that was voted in. If you don't like it because of what happened, you can speak up, sign petitions. You can change that. The president don't make those laws. It happens locally. It's local. It starts from local.
You got to care about the judges you put in place. You got to care about the people who are responsible for legislature. Who's your attorney general? These are all things that we should really care about. Finally, before you go, please let us know where we can find you, how we can keep up with you, and your final thoughts for anyone who's on the fence about voting in this election.
Okay, so my handle is Nicky Says YOLO, because, you know, girl, I'm Jamaican, so it's really Nicola. But my nickname is Nicky. You know, Jamaica's like Nicola. But
yes.
It's Nicky and then says YOLO, basically. So as far as voting, it is so, like, our lives depend on this, like, voting, you know, environment.
Yeah.
From the president, I just, girl, like, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. So I'm just saying, for those that are not sure, do your research, vote for whoever you want to vote for. But as far as, you know, police reforms, social injustices, it's physically right there. We have phones, we have iPhones and Androids showing what is happening in real time.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you're 18 or 50. It can happen to you, your loved one, or your friend, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. So your voice matters. Your voice definitely matters. And those on the voting, the different issues on the ballot, it's going to affect you. You know, so yeah, you may be staying with your parents and you may not be paying no bills or whatever. You may be in college, you know, taking online courses, but ultimately, whatever is on the ballot will affect you and impact you, your friends, and your loved ones.
Absolutely.
And also, 20 for 20. Bring at least 20 people, 20 friends with you to come out there and vote. Y'all make it a party. Y'all stand in line together, have y'all masks, you have y'all phones fully charged, you know, in case the lines are long. But bring 20 people with you, 20, 30, 50, the more the merrier. So
yes,
that's my last take.
All right, Nicky. Nicky from Nicky Says YOLO on IG, of course. Nicky, thank you so much for joining us on Island Fever FM on Delicious Vinyl Station, powered by That Satellite Radio, 98.5 FM in Orlando, and of course, on our very brand new YouTube channel, Island Fever Live. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. Bye, Jay. Bye, Candice. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye, you too.
Bye.